Do you want to go through what is a Xero accounting software so that you become a Xero professional? In this tutorial, we'll explore the powerful feature of this cloud-based accounting software, showing you how to get yourself registered, set up a business or company, get access to a company, and do things like Xero bookkeeping, Xero accounting, set up bank accounts, chart of accounts, post the sales and purchase invoices, record transactions, expense claim, tracking categories, reporting, Xero payroll, and much more in this full course. So stay tuned till the end of the video. Xero is a New Zealand-based technology company that provides cloud-based accounting software for small businesses. This is the top accounting software according to Forbes. Hello, I'm Shiraz Ahmed. Welcome to WorkSmart Hub. I would love to get your feedback in the comments. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe and bell button to get more exciting videos like this and share with your friends. Let's start without further ado. Here's the pricing page. You can find the link in the description. You can start the trial from here or get the desired package as per your requirement. Once you start a trial or buy the subscription, the next thing would be to log in and set up your business. You can click on the top right to log in, enter your email address and password, and this is how you can set up your business or company. Enter your business name, industry, country, last day or end of financial year. Select if you have employees or not, then if you are VAT registered business or not, then if you use any existing tools to run your business. This will help you set up the company if you are migrating from another system. If you are an accountant or bookkeeper, you'll have to ask for access from the owner or administrator, and then you'll get an email from Xero. You can click the link from the email and set up your account, and you'll get access to the company. We'll show you how to do that. After setting up the business, you will be able to see a dashboard like this. Of course, if it's a new company, then most of the things will be blank and you might not see all the buttons depending on your subscription. Let's start with the most obvious things first and go along as we proceed. Here on the top left, you can see your business name. Click here and you'll see the list of important things. You can see the recent business or company name from where you can switch to a company. Let's call this business or company name company. If you don't find the company name in there and you have a lot of companies shared with you, then you'll see a search box from where you can type the name of the company and it will appear. You can see other things which will go one by one. While the desired company is selected, if you have more than one, then the first thing would be to go to settings and adjust each section according to our needs. In settings, first let's see what's in organization details. You can upload your company's logo and it will appear on invoices and everywhere else. You can set your company's display name and legal or trading name. You can select the industry, which will trigger the chart of accounts. You can select the type of organization like a limited company or sole trader. You can enter your company registration number, organization description like about your business, enter the company contact details like address, telephone, email, website, and so on, and click save. Let's go for users now. You can see the list of users with the level of access. You can change the level of access and add or remove users. For example, if you want to give access to a bookkeeper or accountant, then you can add the person here, and you might see this differently depending on whether you're the owner or delegate. Next is currencies. You can add more currencies if you have a multi-currency business. In connected apps, you can see which app you can connect to Xero. For example, you can connect to HubDoc, an app which helps you get the expense receipts quickly and may read the major words from images and produce a draft supplier invoice or simply bill. Next, we go to invoice settings where you can create, edit, or delete the sales invoice templates like logo, page size, margins, wordings, item to be displayed like tax numbers, address, email, and so on, payment terms, etc. You can have more than one template and can change it instantly while writing a sales invoice. In payment services, you can connect your payment accounts like PayPal. It helps you track payment statuses, easily reconcile incoming payments with outstanding invoices, and save you time. In email settings, you can change any of these email templates. For example, you want to change the sales invoice email template. Here you can see the default email template which the customer will get when you send a sales invoice to the customer from Xero. You can edit any of these and can also have more than one for different customers or needs. You can add more words or remove words from here. In payroll settings, it first open the payroll section, then we go to payroll and settings where you can see the details. This page is specifically for UK payroll. You can select the nominals to which your payroll taxes, liabilities, or expenses will be recorded automatically while you post the payroll. I assume you have the basic accounting knowledge and won't dive into that because that's a different subject. You can enter bank details, payroll cessation date if you deregister, and timesheet. In HMRC, you can add HMRC gateway details like your PAYE reference number, accounts office number, UTR, gateway credentials, and so on. In the calendar, you can add the frequency like weekly or monthly payroll. In working patterns, you can have the time recorded against your employees in case you pay for time-based. Holidays show the type of holidays. Workplace pension is where you select the percentage of pension, or you can also connect this to pension providers like Nest and it will do its calculations automatically and can also submit the pension submission without any need to copy the data in pension providers portal manually. Pay items are the type of earnings and deductions where you can edit, add more, or delete according to your needs. Opening balances are in case you move to Xero and want to add opening balances like what to pay employees or what to recover from HMRC and so on. Let's go to expenses. Here you can see the users who can add expense claims. In expense claims, you can edit the nominals to be displayed and related things while creating an expense claim. You can check to enable receipt analysis to allow Xero to read the picture of the receipts and extract the data. You still need to double check and then save. We'll go to expense claim later. Mileage claim, almost the same thing, but here you claim the mileage done. Labels allow you to categorize expense claims based on certain events. You can add one and select it while entering the expense claim. Let's go back to the organization setting and go for the next bit, which is Xero to Xero, where you can send the invoice directly to someone's Xero and these will appear automatically on their account. The last one is customer contact links, where you can create custom links to allow you to click from Xero contacts to other systems such as CRM. Now our settings bit is done, and let's go for another major setting which is part of settings. Go for accounting and advanced accounting. Here you can see another set of settings. Let's go one by one for each of them. In financial settings, you can enter the VAT scheme type like cash or accruals, VAT frequency like monthly or quarterly, VAT registration numbers. It helps Xero automatically match your data while submitting the VAT return. Select the tax defaults for sales and purchases. If you are in construction industry scheme or CIS, then you can tick here, which will help you have a related chart of accounts and monthly CIS returns. BACS ID will help you pay via BACS. Log date is where you can select the date, which is like the end of last financial year, and once selected, it won't allow changes to that period accidentally. And last one is your time zone. Let's go for chart of accounts, where you can add, edit or delete or archive the chart of accounts or simply nominals. This is what you see when you open a bank account. Not much to change here because it's a bank account. Let's click audit and accountancy fees. Here you can see the things which can change or which are needed while entering a new chart of accounts. Account type is according to the placement of chart of account like current asset, revenue, cost of sales, and so on. Code is a unique identifier of the chart of account. You can enter the name of the chart of account, optional description, and tax rate once selected. It will appear by default while you select this nominal in sales or purchase invoices. If you want to view the summary of this on your dashboard, then you can check this box. If you want this to appear in expense claim, then check the second box. If you want to allow payments directly to this account like a bank account, then check the third box. Once you are happy, you can click save. While we are looking for chart of accounts, let me show you how to add a bank account in Xero. Go to accounting, bank accounts, and add a bank account. If you want to add the bank feed, then search for the bank account. Select the bank and follow the instruction. If you don't want a bank feed, then you can simply type a name, select add without bank feed, and continue. It will ask for the name, code, description, etc. In bank accounts, you can see all the bank account you have. You can click manage account and import the bank statement in case you don't have bank feed or don't want bank feed. You can download the CSV template and convert your bank feed into the same template. Then click select file and select that file. It will upload the bank statement. Once a statement is uploaded or the bank feed is live, the transactions imported via the bank feed or bank statement will appear like this blue box, reconcile certain items. You can check this box, show account on dashboard, and your bank will appear on the dashboard like this. You can also import bank statements from here or open bank from here. You can also click here to reconcile bank or imported transactions from either bank feed or bank statement. You'll see this page. These are all transactions showing the description per bank and amount either spent or received. You can record the transactions in many ways. For example, if you think you already have a supplier invoice against this fast pay, then you can click match and you can select the invoice from the list or search for it. You can select one or multiple invoices depending on the amount, or if it's partly paid, then you can click split button to split the invoice. Once invoice is matching with the payment, OK button here or reconcile button at the bottom will turn blue, and you click on it and the transaction is recorded. Xero also does the matching by suggesting the invoices where the amount is matching like this. If you're sure this is the right invoice, like looking for supplier or customer name and reference number, then you simply click OK. If this matching is not correct or a transaction, in this case you don't have invoice and want to record this transaction directly, then you go for create and type the name or who, which is the supplier or customer name. You either select from the list or create new like this. What is where you select the chart of account where you want to post this. Why is the description, which is optional. If you want, you can type anything in here. Bottom row will appear different depending on whether you have tracking categories. Like in this case, we have region. We'll go to tracking categories later. You can select region and VAT type, then click OK to record transaction. If this is a transfer to the other bank account, which is already in Xero, then you go for transfer, select the desired bank account and click OK. It will appear in the other bank account as a matching transaction, or in other words as a suggestion, because the same amount must be in the respective bank account. If you don't know and want to discuss this with your boss, you can select discuss and type something which you want to discuss. The next tab is cash coding. Here you can record multiple transactions in one go, like the create button in the reconcile tab. Let's click on pay to sort this by pay, and then you can check the transactions you want to reconcile. Now you can write the reference or contact, description, select chart of accounts, tax rate and region, and click save and reconcile selected, and it will save all the transactions. In the bank statement tab, you can see the transaction from bank feed or imported. You can remove transaction and view which are unreconciled and so on. In account transaction tab, you can create new transactions manually. You can either select the spend or receive money, type the to as contact, date, reference, description and so on, and it will save the transaction. Don't forget to open the transaction after it's been recorded and mark it as reconciled. This is an alternative to importing transaction via manual import or bank feed. If you want to record a transfer between accounts manually, then we go for manage account, transfer money, select the from and to account, date and amount, and click transfer. You can also create bank rules so that you don't have to manually enter the data every time. Go for option and click create bank rule. Select if you want any or all the conditions to meet. Adjust the description and pay to exact match or contain the certain word. Select the contact, type description, account, tax rate, region, and save the rule. It will show next time as rule and you simply click OK. In case you create a transaction next time, Xero will suggest you like this based on what you selected earlier, and you simply have to click OK and the rule will appear like this. Again, you only have to click OK if you're happy. To reconcile the bank account with actual bank statement, go for reconciliation report, and here you can select the date and bank account, enter the bank closing balance as per the statement and reconcile. It will show all the transactions which are not reconciled, pending, or anything else will show you if statement balance is matching or not. That's all about banks and transactions. Let's go for business category on the top and work out one by one. Click business and go for short-term cash flow. This shows a snapshot of cash projections based on bank and time frame selected, and show reports and graph of cash position based on receivable and payable invoices. The next thing is business snapshot, where you can select the date range and it will show you major movement across the business. You can edit the metrics and adjust things according to your needs. Let's go for invoices, and here you can see all the sales or customer invoices, which Xero calls invoices. If you go for draft, then it shows the invoices which are not posted yet. Let's edit this one to show you how to edit or record the invoice. Here you can select the contact in the to box, which is the name for both supplier and customers as per Xero. You can also click new invoice to create one like this. Both will show the same interface. You can select the issue date, due date, invoice number must not be repeated, reference, currency and branding theme, which was created in invoice template setting, which are mostly default, but you can have more than one. The amounts are tax inclusive or not. It will switch the tax calculations accordingly. If you are a product based, then you select the item. Otherwise, just go for description, quantity, price, accounts, which is a chart of account, tax rate, region, which could be something else depending on your tracking categories, and project. You can have many lines or rows, attach files if you want, and then you can approve and email to approve or post the invoice to account, and open the send email box from where you can send the invoice to the customer. Approve will post the invoice. Approve and add another will post and open a blank draft invoice. Approve and view next will post and view the next invoice. Approve and get link will post the invoice and copy the link which shows the invoices, and approve and print PDF will post the invoice and will download the PDF version of the invoice. You can save and close to save the invoice as draft, won't be posted to the accounts, and close the invoice. Save and add another to save it as a draft and open a new draft invoice. And submit for approval to submit for approval, which is a phase between being approved or posted and draft invoice. You can also preview the invoice, which will be according to invoice template setting we did earlier. That is pretty much about creating or editing invoices. Going back, you can select multiple or all and click submit for approval or approve. You can also email these to the clients. It will automatically select the email and the name of customer according to what you saved in contact section. We'll go through this later. You can select the email template. Again, we did this in settings section. You edit the message body if you want. You can also include attached files with the invoice itself as PDF attachment, and you can send a copy to yourself and click send button. Going back to the invoice section, you have the awaiting approval tab, which will show invoices which were submitted for approval, and then awaiting payment section shows the invoices which are approved but no money received. Here you can see the sent, which means the invoice was sent from Xero to the customer. Paid section, as name suggests. The repeating section shows the invoices which were created and were scheduled to repeat after a certain period. For example, if you have the same monthly invoice which you want to send to a customer, then it will appear here. The send statement button will show the balances due by all the customers, and you can filter a contact by searching here. You can download a statement like this or email it to the customer, which will show the breakdown of payments and invoices along with the balance due. New credit note is the same as invoice in adding or editing. It just has a reverse effect on the sales. Once you click approve button, if this customer has any invoice, then it will ask if you want to allocate this credit note to that customer. Otherwise, you simply pay this credit note by money received in the bank. To create repeating invoice, you just must create a regular invoice and then go for these three dots and click repeat. You can edit invoice, email invoice to the customer. Get link will give you a unique link to this invoice so that anyone with the link can view the invoice. Copy to the draft invoice if you want to create another invoice without need to fill in all the data. Copy to draft code to create a code with the pre-filled data from this invoice. Repeat will repeat the invoice after specified intervals. Create and apply credit will create a draft credit note with the same numbers and data. Void will delete the invoice. Invoice settings will open the section we already covered in the settings, and help with invoicing will open Xero help regarding invoices. To add a payment to an invoice manually, click the add payment button and select the date, accounts, which is bank account, amount and reference if any, and click add. You can click this export button to export the visible invoices into an Excel spreadsheet. The import button works the same as bank statements. You download the template file and make sure the required fields are filled in, import in, and the invoices will be imported as draft invoices. Make sure to write the contact and tax rate correctly and the invoice number is unique. Don't forget to select whether amounts are tax inclusive or exclusive. Invoice reminders are to send the reminders for overdue invoices automatically by Xero. You can check this box. Edit the templates for each frequency of overdue invoices. Include a link to the invoice and summary. Include a PDF and exclude the invoices under certain amounts if you want. If you edit the reminder, it will show the template as per setting earlier. You can change the words and enter placeholder, which will change according to the invoice and customer. That was all for invoices. Now let's go for online payments, where you can set up or connect payment wallets like PayPal, which will help you easier tracking payments and allocate payments to the invoices. In codes, you can create and send the codes the same way we did invoices. You can also convert the code directly to invoices. You can also assign it to the projects. Again, if you have products, then select the product. If that's a service, then go for description and set the quantity, price, discount, chart of account, tax rate, and region, just like you did while creating the invoice. In sales overview, you can see the summary of invoices and codes based on draft, awaiting, payment, overdue, major customer, expected cash in, and so on. In bills to pay, this section covers the purchase or supplier invoices, where Xero prefer the word bill. In the all tab, you can see all the bills just like invoices. You can either create a new bill or edit the earlier one. Let's edit this one. You can see the supplier name or contact, date of invoice, due date, a reference, which is normally the invoice number of the supplier invoice, which helps you make sure you don't accidentally record the invoice twice. Attach file or supplier invoice, tax inclusive or exclusive, currency, description, item, quantity, unit price, chart of account, tax rate, and region. You can create a repeating bill by clicking repeat, void to delete the bill, and copy to copy the whole bill. You don't have to write everything again, just update the invoice number, date, and amount. View to show the preview, and add credit note to write a credit note to the bill. It will fill most of the things automatically for the same amount. Print PDF will download the PDF version of this bill. All the sections are just like invoices. If you go to awaiting payment, you can see the bills to pay. You can select all or multiple to manually pay out of the bank if you don't have bank feed or import it manually. Here you can export bills. To export the visible bills to the spreadsheet, direct bill payments will link your bank account and you can pay your bills directly. Automate bill entry will give you a unique email address. You can send a picture of the bill to that email and it will automatically create a draft bill in Xero using that picture and will grab the data out of that picture what it can. Let's go back to business category and open purchase orders, which is pretty much the same as the codes in the sales section cover earlier. You can create one like a bill and convert it to a draft bill using marked as bill. Next, purchase overview show the summary of purchases or bills just like in sales overview in sales section. In expense claim, you can see all the expense claim. You can open any one, edit, which is the same as creating one, have your picture or PDF uploaded, amount, description, whether it's refundable to the employee or was it company money. If it was company money, then which bank to pay from, spent at which supplier or contact, date, chart of account, optional things like region assigned to customer or project, label, then VAT rate. You can approve or decline the claim. Here is another one just like the last one. Mileage claim is where you claim the miles and rate per mile. The last one in the business section is product and services, where we have predefined product or services. We can create one or edit, which include things like name, description, cost price, sale price, purchase nominal account, sales nominal account, and the tax rate for both. And we can also check for track inventory item to track the stock. It will appear on the balance sheet instead of cost of sales. These are used in invoices or bills. Let's go for contact section and all contacts. You can see all the contacts here. Either you can edit or create a new, and the information needed will be name, account number, optional, contact person name, email, phone, website, notes, addresses, bank account, and so on. This will affect the invoice and bills like default, chart of accounts, due date, VAT rate, tax inclusive or inclusive amount, and so on. Also, once you open a contact, you can see the details on the top and any invoices or bills issued below. All contacts are divided into customers and suppliers. In groups, we have training here, where you can merge different customers or suppliers into one, just for presentational purposes, so that you can see the overall amount due. You can select the contact and click merge to create a group. And all projects, you can create or see the projects, where you can click or create or edit the project. Here you can see the estimate of the project, time, and expenses allocated versus estimated, and so on. Time is further divided into tasks. You can select the status to draft, in progress, or closed. You can further edit, duplicate, and delete. If we edit, then we can select the contact, give the project a name, deadline of the project, estimate, and so on. Now let's go back to accounting, advanced accounting, and complete the rest of the settings. In find and recode, we can edit multiple transactions at once. For example, we select different conditions like account, which is the chart of accounts, date between certain periods, contact, and so on. Once we get what we need, either we multi-select or select all and record, where we can change the contact account, tax rate, and tracking categories. Next is manual journals, where we can see a list of journals already posted, new journals, new repeating journal, or import, just like we imported the invoices and bills. Let's open this journal and you can see something like this. We can repeat, which will repost the journal at specified intervals. Reverse, which will open the draft journal in reverse order. Void to remove the journal. Copy to create a draft journal with the same data. And edit to change the journal. Once we edit, then it's the same as posting a new journal. We enter narration, date, text, description, account, tax rate, tracking categories, and amount, and then we post. In fixed asset, whenever we post a transaction or bill to a fixed asset, nominal, or chart of account, then it appears here in draft. Once we open this, we can name the asset, a default asset number, purchase date, purchase price, some optional things, select the depreciation method and start date, and we save to mark this as registered. Once it is registered, it goes to registered tab, and you can see this asset, and here shows the details, and value tab shows the depreciation charge so far. We can go for options and edit to change anything, copy to create a draft copy of asset, dispose to write off asset, and delete to remove the asset. Let's say we dispose of the asset, then we select the date of disposal, sales proceeds, nominal, depreciation in the final year, and we click dispose. Export accounting data is for exporting the data to another system if you want to switch to other system. Assurance dashboard can help you watch your data and highlight items you may want to check. History and notes show the overall user activity. We already covered financial settings and chart of accounts. In tax rates, we can have all the tax rates and their settings. We can add more and write the name of tax rate. Select where you apply, sales or purchases, and display tax and percentage. In the same way, we can change the existing ones. In fixed asset setting, we can change the type of asset along with its nominal and default depreciation method. Accounts specify the disposal default for the chart of account. In tracking categories, we can specify the tracking category along with category option. In this case, we have region as tracking category and east side, north, south, and west code as its options. We can add more regions or add a new category like this, name and then options. In reporting preferences, we can set the accounting basis to accrual or cash, display showing accounting basis, account code, and decimals by default for all the default reports. In conversion balances, we can set the opening balances if we are moving from another accounting system to Xero, where we enter the total amounts of each chart of account. The conversion date is the beginning of the financial year or opening balances, and the amount will be shown as last year end. Once you save, it will ask for the invoices and bills for the breakdown of trade receivables and trade payables, if any. Anything posted before this date will automatically be considered nil, and the conversion balances will be displayed as last year comparatives. That was it. Now let's take a peek at reports section, where we have a lot of reports relating to each category. Anything showing a star will be marked as favorite and will be displayed on the top and in the accounting section. Let's open the profit and loss report as an example. You can select the period manually or from these predefined periods. You can also select compare with a certain number of periods. You can also filter the desired tracking category. In more, we have an accrual or cash basis and these options. You can edit the layout to change the report according to needs. You can also use common formats to see reports needed. Finally, you can export the report into Google Sheet, Excel or PDF, or save the custom format so that you don't have to change the report every time. You can explore the reports, use them as need. In the payroll section, we can run the payroll and set automatically to HMRC or the respective authorities. In the employees subsection, we can add, edit or terminate employees. In the pay employees section, we can create a draft payroll for the desired period and look for the employees and their payroll, pay and deductions. Once happy, we proceed to post, and payroll is posted to Xero and submitted to authority automatically, of course using the HMRC credentials and payroll registration number. In options, we can download the payslip P32 bank payment file, which can upload to the bank and pay automatically, and so on. In VAT return section of reports, we can set up VAT, and once linked to HMRC, it shows the period automatically, and we can simply submit the VAT return with just a click. On the top right, if we click the plus button, we can directly add invoices, bills, codes, purchase orders, journals, spend money, receive money, and transfer money with a click. In the dashboard, we can see the bank's chart of accounts which were checked to be displayed on the dashboard. Banks show statement balance versus Xero, which is considered once all the transactions are reconciled. Total cash in and out. Then we have an overview of invoices owed to us and bills to pay, and expense claims. Once we set up VAT, then we can also have a VAT box in the dashboard. Give yourself a pat for completing this Xero tutorial and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and push the bell button for more exciting videos like this. Compliment is much appreciated in the comment and share with your friends. Stay blessed.